Dungeons and Dragons is meant to be a high magic game. We're going to discuss how magic works in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I am Juice, this is Master the Game, let's get started. Make sure you head on over to rpgjuice.com, where you can get caught up on the latest videos, the latest news, and blog posts from Juice himself. There are a few different classes that have different types of magic, from warlocks to wizards to sorcerers to clerics to eldritch knights to rangers and druids, rogue arcane tricksters, bards, paladins. There's a lot of magic in 5th edition. Your character might not know magic. Maybe they just have magic items. So, you're thinking of playing a character that has magic. Well, you've come to the right place. Depending on your class, magic works a little different. For example, if you're a bard, you're using charisma for your magic. If you're a wizard, you're using intelligence. If you're a cleric, you're using wisdom. If you're a druid, you're using wisdom. Warlock, charisma. Sorcerer, charisma. Eldritch Knight, intelligence. It's important you know which stat is important for your spellcasting, because this should probably be your primary stat. For example, a barbarian would want strength as their primary stat because they're going to use it the most. Your wizard is going to want intelligence. That's going to be the ability that's going to determine how well he hits with his magic, how strong his magic is. There's a lot of different spells in the game that use different abilities. If your character actually has a really weak primary magic stat, it's okay. There are still spells that are going to force your opposition, your monsters, to make saves instead. That might be a dex save. It might be a wisdom save. All going to be determined by whatever spell you chose to cast. Now, with spells, there are ritual spells which don't require spell slots. There are cantrips. Cantrips are going to not require spell slots either. In fact, cantrips are kind of like your free spells that you can just cast at will. One that people talk about a lot is Eldritch Blast. And I just want to point out that while that's a really good cantrip, it's really good because of all the things that a warlock can do to make it even better, such as doubling its range and things like that. There are spells as reactions, such as defensive spells, and there are spells as bonus actions, like Healing Word. These spells are extremely powerful, and it allows you to do a lot of things. Spellcasters are one of my favorite classes to play because of all the options you have. But if you're going to play one, you need to be on top of things. You need to know how these things work, and you need to be paying attention to what's going on in combat at all times. If it's not your turn, you still need to be focused. I just want to give a quick shout out to the software D&D Beyond. If you're playing D&D and you're not using D&D Beyond, you are missing out. So head on over to D&D Beyond. You'll just need a Twitch account to get started. And check it out. See what they have to offer. I guarantee you it will improve your gaming experience beyond your wildest dreams. You're only going to get a certain amount of spell slots per day. And depending on what your class is, you need to read that section of how magic works for your character really well. There is a chance that you just have the Magic Initiate feat, which basically allows you to have one first level spell slot and some cantrips of one class that you choose. This is a really awesome feat, especially at low levels, but even later on, it can be really cool. It does stack with your normal spellcasting classes too. I try not to tell players what to choose when they're making their groups. If you have all characters that are martial classes, or maybe they're rogues or whatever, I try not to tell them, oh, you need a healer, for example. The Magic Initiate feat is actually a great way for a group to get some healing if they feel like they need that role, without giving up the type of character that somebody wants to play. The Magic Initiate is never going to be as powerful as, say, a Life Cleric or anything like that. It's never going to be as powerful as your Wizard or any of the spellcasting classes, but it does allow you to round out the party with having some extra spells that maybe the group doesn't have. Now, when you're casting spells, if you cast a concentration spell, you're going to have to make saves occasionally. If your character gets hit by somebody, or if something is making it hard for them to concentrate, your DM is going to ask you for a Constitution save. If you make it, you're still able to hold concentration. If you don't make it, well, that spell ends. When you cast a concentration spell, you cannot cast another concentration spell and hold on to both of those. So when you cast a second concentration spell, the first one goes away. Now, when you cast a regular spell that uses a spell slot, you cannot cast another spell that uses a spell slot in the same round. But you can cast a cantrip. This is important to note because there are some abilities that allow you to cast 2 spell slots per round. A little tip if you're playing a spellcaster is definitely go out and buy some spell cards. I have a few packs and I think they are invaluable. I also have made a binder with spells in it, and they're organized by spell level and by class. This allows me to quickly, say, pull up a bard spell. If I'm playing a bard, I can use my dry erase marker and circle spells that I've prepared for the day and anything like that. If you have any questions about spellcasters, feel free to post it below. I'm trying not to go into too many specifics because I will be covering specific spells and how spells work by class in later videos. So if this is your first time watching Master the Game, be sure to hammer that like button and smash that subscribe button. I'd love to see you back for more. I am Juice. This is Master the Game. Game on.